I have studied, written, and spoken on Whitworth's history for more than 30 years. It's easy to say that we've been through something historic this year. A pandemic, political unrest, and the renewed spotlight on racial inequity have produced one of the most challenging years for all of us. It has been a test of our resilience, our mental health, and our faith in God. As we return to campus this year, it's a good time to reflect upon some of those moments in the past when we, the Whitworth community, found the resilience to go forward. It's good to be reminded that we've faced many challenges before and we have either overcome them or are still working to not only survive, but to make this a better place for generations to come. Through persistence, in hope, and in faith, Whitworth has lived out its mission to provide an education of the heart and mind in order to honor God, follow Christ, and serve humanity. It really isn't that difficult to identify moments where students, faculty and staff, administrators, and board members faced enormous challenges in Whitworth's past, but with God's help found resilience. In the early days, when the college enrolled just a few students, survival literally hung in the balance each year. Survival was so tenuous that trustees were forced to move the campus twice, from Sumner to Tacoma, and then in 1914 to Spokane. I'm standing here in front of McMillan Hall, where that history in Eastern Washington began. Shortly after moving to this new place, however, the college shut down completely for one full year because so many male students left to fight in World War I. Ironically, that was the same year that the Spanish flu hit Spokane hard. Whitworth was spared because it was not in session. Despite those challenges, Whitworth trustees believed in the mission and restarted the college following the war. Still, throughout the 1920s, Whitworth barely hung on. Ballard Hall burned to the ground one night. Then came the 1930s when the Great Depression hit and created enormous financial pressure on students and families. Students sometimes paid their tuition in produce and faculty often went without salary. But Whitworth survived and began to flourish. World War II presented another set of challenges. Once again, Whitworth students ended up fighting in the war. Some lost their lives in the battle against fascism. Even in the wake of war, however, the Whitworth that most of us would come to recognize began to emerge in the late 40s, 50s, and early 60s. President Frank Warren infused energy and a commitment to Christian higher education into the very soul of this place. Faculty such as Clem Simpson and Fenton Duvall helped shape our core program, oversee study, and an expectation of academic excellence. Once again, however, significant challenges faced students and faculty. Most notably, the Vietnam War presented difficult decisions around whether to support American intervention or to join the anti-war movement. No other event in Whitworth history produced as much division among the students. The largest protest in Whitworth history occurred following the deaths of 4 students at Kent State University in May 1970. Also deeply troubling was the discrimination experienced throughout the country by women and other marginalized groups. Within Whitworth, faculty such as Pat McDonald fought hard to eliminate inequity toward women. The civil rights movement challenged Whitworth to become more racially diverse. While these early efforts proved difficult to sustain, in retrospect, they established a commitment and a belief that Whitworth would best be served by broadening its curriculum, recruiting a wider spectrum of student, and committing itself to the goals of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Needless to say, fulfillment of those goals continues to be important for Whitworth in the present day. Whitworth pursued a path that was uncommon for the vast majority of Christian colleges and universities. A path that attempted to face head-on some of the difficult challenges of the day. The college committed itself to remain Christ-centered by requiring full-time faculty and staff to be professing Christians. Whitworth has long been devoted to equipping students for successful professional work. At the same time, Whitworth faculty have encouraged students at both the undergraduate and graduate levels to ask hard questions informed by a Christian worldview that often challenged underlying cultural assumptions and practices. It is this mission of honoring God, following Christ, and serving humanity that has attracted tens of thousands of faculty and staff and students to become a part of this institution. It is the challenge of fulfilling that mission that attracted leaders, most recently Bill Robinson and Beck Taylor, to transform the physical campus and develop the institution into a comprehensive university for the 21st century. As Bill Robinson frequently said, "I didn't bring anything to Whitworth that wasn't already here. I found an institution with a deep commitment to its mission, and all I did was to lift up that mission in the midst of challenge after challenge." As Beck Taylor further stated, "We stand on the shoulders of thousands of alums, faculty, staff, and friends of this institution as we work together to fulfill that mission." For over 130 years, the college, and now as a university, has faced challenges that were financial and demographic. It has been confronted by matters of discrimination and marginalization. The university has at moments been threatened by the impact of world wars, yet the university has continued to live out its mission. Our long history should give the present and future generations hope and confidence that together we can overcome the challenges today and tomorrow. Throughout all of our history, we have sought God's grace, forgiveness, and blessing. May we continue in that spirit as we go forward into the years ahead.